Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to our translated English news edition. As usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, bringing you the news in English weekdays at 6 p.m. Today, the government launched an operation against informality, which aims to bring businesses in line with the laws that govern them. Prime Minister Rama declared that starting from today, the government is in a state of war with the problem of informality in business. Prime Minister Rama called it a patriotic war and said that the operation that was launched today is one of the most difficult ever undertaken by the state, but that it is necessary for the advancement of the Renaissance. We have begun to create the state that we want, he said, the state that our children deserve. The operation we launched today is intended to protect the consumers and the businesses alike. It will be the main priority of the government in the third 300 days of our mandate, just like the operation in the energy sector was in the beginning. Albania is in a state of war with this problem, which affects the process of Renaissance and the organization of the state and the society, in order to withdraw closer to the European civilization, said the Prime Minister. Mr. Rama warned the tax inspectors that they will be facing prison time if they abuse their duties in this matter. We have sent a new package to the Assembly, he said, which provides harsher measures for corrupt inspectors. The administration must show exemplary behavior and act according to the law, said Prime Minister Rama. He added that 600 working groups will be engaged in the operation and that they will be assisted by the state police and the officers from the prosecution. He took care to express that this will not be a war against honest businesses. He called for the consumers to request a sales receipt each time that they make a purchase, saying that it will serve as a contribution toward raising salaries and public investments. The operation of the government against business informality has begun to have visible effects even during its first day. There were a significant number of businesses that were closed today, while the owners went to the registration center to legally register their business activity. Small business owners make up the largest number of entities who need to register with the National Registration Center, and the highest number of applicants trying to formalize their enterprises are coming from the small business sector. So far, the general reaction from these business owners toward the new initiative has been positive, but they do say that it must be applied equally to all. They have suspicions that this will not be the case, despite the government's promises to apply the laws to everyone who owns a business, starting with the big businesses. The small business owners have expressed the concern that they will not get a fair shake and that the enforcement of the law will not be applied to everyone equally. September 1st marks the launch of another operation by the law enforcement agencies in Albania, an operation against traffic and parking fines that are simply being left unpaid. Beginning today, police officers have been checking on whether drivers have paid any outstanding fines and enforcing vehicle confiscation laws. Long lines have been formed at the payment offices for traffic fines after the news that the vehicles may be confiscated if there is even one unpaid fine in a driver's history. Sources from the state police say that they have already confiscated 300 vehicles in the month of August, and an even higher number of confiscations are expected in September, if the current outstanding fines remain unpaid. The road police officers are mainly concentrated on the most important streets of the capital city. For any vehicles that they find that have unpaid fines for which the 30-day deadline has expired, they will be performing an administrative confiscation of the vehicle until the fine is paid. After confiscation, if the fine is not paid within 3 months and the vehicle is not retrieved by the owner, the vehicle will be forfeit. The police are using the period of the first week of September to inform the drivers of the penalties that they will face if they neglect the payment of their fines. The change of leadership in the local government following the June 21st elections has caused a delay in disability payments for Albania's disabled. The financial assistance for the disabled is now backed up by 2 months due to the amount of time that was needed to change the power in the local governments and to establish the new city councils. The situation is the most problematic in the capital, the administrative units of Berzita, Kraba, and Preza. There is a 3-month delay in Berat and Puka as well. The president of the National Council of the Disabled, Sinan Tafai, had this to say: There have been numerous delays of about 2 or 3 months in several districts, and in some former municipalities such as Tirana, Berzita, Preza, Puca, and Berat. According to Mr. Tafai, this category of people has also been overlooked in the compensation for electricity that they are supposed to receive, leaving them now in debt to the energy suppliers. Mr. Tafai points out the unfairness of this problem and says that the distribution of these backed-up payments must begin as soon as possible. Most of Tirana's 31 kindergartens have been adopted since the initiative Adopt a Nursery that was launched by the new mayor, Arion Valiai. The program was launched for businesses and anyone else who wanted to help the municipality reconstruct the kindergartens of the capital. The authorities recognize that the problem of small capacity in the kindergartens is still an issue in light of the growing demand, and they say that the most problematic areas are the commune of Paris and the Daiti administrative unit. There are 2 nurseries that are still under construction, and they are expected to be completed in the next few weeks. There are also 2 kindergartens being built as well. Registration for nurseries and kindergartens begins today, and the number of applications is higher than in previous years. The current capacity is only sufficient for the needs of half the population. That concludes our news for this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Please be with us again tomorrow at the same time for more translated news in English. Thanks for tuning in.